Moksha. Yara. Hello, Anjali. Yeah, just now it started. No problem. Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you. Hari Om. Let's start with a prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva Tvameva vidya dravidam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Tvameva sarvam gurudeva deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadashi, 7th chapter and Trupti Deep Prakaranam of the Vidyaranya Swami. We were doing Sloka 83. Let's chant that Sloka. Antahkarana sambhinna bodho jivo parokshatam arhatyupadi sadbhavat natu brahmanupaditam Natu brahmanupāditaha. Together. Antakarana sambhinna bodho jivo parokshatam arhatyupadi sadbhavat natu brahmanupāditaha. So jivaha aparokshatam. So the jiva is the indirect knowledge of the indirect for jiva to know that aham brahmasmi through the Pratyaksha and Paroksha knowledge, or the direct, indirect and the direct knowledge. So that who has to know? It's not the Brahman. Brahman doesn't need to know anything. From Brahman point there is no ignorance, or there is no Jiva even. It is one without a second, and it is pure existent consciousness which is limitless. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And this whole discussion is only from the point of at the Jiva level, at the transaction level, and from his level there is a Jiva, there is an Antakaranam, Sthula Sariram, Sushma Sariram, and the one who is embodied within the Sariram is the one who wants to recognize that I am beyond the body. I am the one which enlivens the body, but I am untouched by the body. That's what the knowledge should be. Because Aham Brahmasmi is in spite of the body, I am that which pervades everything and unaffected by all these upadhis also. So here the question that is being raised is Antahkarana Sambhinna Bodhaha, this consciousness which is associated with the subtle body, that is Jivaha, Aparokshatam Arhati. So it is Arhati Upadhi Sadbhavad. It's only the Jiva that with the Upadhi can realize, or should realize, or need to realize that Aham Brahmasmi. Natu Brahmanupaditaha, not the Brahman that need to be. The question then is, how can Jiva, who is conditioned by the Antahkarana, unconditioned by the subtle body and the gross body, how can he recognize I am Brahman? because he is already conditioned. So how is the conditioned consciousness can recognize I am unconditioned consciousness? Because it is a different order of reality. Here we are talking about a conditioned consciousness has to realize that I am unconditioned, which is also contradiction in itself. And that's what is the question also. So, Jivaha aparokshatam arhati is possible. Antahkarana sambhinna bodhaha, because it's conditioned consciousness. Therefore, indirectly I say I can know about the nature of the reality, and also you can say Aham Brahmasmi has to be learned by the conditioned consciousness. But Natu Brahma anupaditaha. So, Brahma anupaditaha, it's not for the Brahman who doesn't have any conditioning. So, who is realizing here? Does Brahman without any conditioning can only say I am one without any conditioning? I am pure Brahman. And the Jiva with conditioning cannot say I am pure Brahman because he is conditioned already. So, who is really realization from the point of Jiva? This is, how can that be? A conditioned consciousness can recognize that I am unconditioned consciousness. Even if he tries to make a statement like that, it is not really valid. That's what the objection is. Now that is being answered in the next sloka. But here we have to be careful. If you understand the whole process, it is the conditioned consciousness only has to recognize that the conditioning itself is mithya. So it's not really satyam. I'm giving a reality to the conditioning, and that's where the problem is. So realization involves recognition that the condition itself is not really real. Therefore, what is reality is Aham Brahmasmi is real. So it is like a pot space, that's a pot space thinking that I am only a limited space, and there is a Mahakasha, the whole thing space outside which is infinite, but I am limited by the pot walls, therefore Upadhi, Antahkaranam. So I am inside the pot, and that's what a pot space thinks. But pot space, while remaining in the pot, has to recognize as a space I am limitless. I pervade the outside as well as inside. Antar bahisya tat swarvam vyapya narayana stitaha. In terms of Narayana, is inside and outside, including the walls of the pot walls also. Space is there. So space is limitless. Even the conditioning is only, upadhi is only an assumption that you are dividing which is undivided. So the understanding should be a jiva who appears to be as though entered into this body, antahkaranam, and the mind, and getting reflected and operating at that level and thinking that I am only this. The problem is the notion that I am only limited. It's the notion that has to be eliminated, including even inside, well, in the upadhi. Presence of the upadhi or absence of the upadhi should not make any difference from the point of Aham Brahmasmi knowledge wise. That's what is going to be emphasized here. Sorry. Let's chant sloka 84. Naivam brahmatma bodhasya, naivam brahmatma bodhasya, sopadi vishayatvataha, sopadi vishayatvataha, yavat videha kaivalyam, yavat videha kaivalyam, upadhir anivaranat, upadhir anivaranat. Together, naivam brahmatma bodhasya sopadi vishayatvataha yavat videha kaivalyam upadhir anivaranat. So here I had to recognize that when I say Aham Brahmasmi, has to recognize whether there is a conditioning or whether there is no conditioning. In spite of the conditionings, it doesn't affect my understanding that Aham Brahmasmi. So while living in the body, while gaining the knowledge through the intellect and through the buddhi only, because I am using a viveka to discriminate what is real and what is not real, and then shift my attention or identification with the reality, not with the unreality, and therefore in the process that's what is the dropping of the notions of that I am desa kala vastu parichinnam. That means I am limited by space wise, time wise and object wise, and re-identify myself with the totality, because that's my intrinsic nature. Shrunvanta Visve Amrutasya Putraha. One says, oh, you listen to me, you immortality, sons of immortality, Amrutasya Putraha. Amrutasya Putraha, a sage uses about everybody. It doesn't say you are a sinners, but you are in fact the sons of immortality. Mortality means a change. That which is changeless, and that which is changeless is immortal, and that which is immortal or changeless has to be infinite only. Why? Because any finite undergoes a change. That's the nature of the property of a finite. And therefore, if I say I am immortal, that only means that I am infinite, satyam, nityam, and that is therefore it is sat swarupam, and therefore that which is sat can never cease to exist. Therefore, I am immortal, and therefore that has to be Brahman, and that recognition is a realization of what I am already. Even before ajnana kale api, even when I am not ignorant also, I am Brahman only. It's only shifting my clear understanding, and my confusion I am dropping, because I am taking I am equal to this. That's my confusion. Obviously it's similar, because this is an object and I am a subject. So I cannot be an object. Subject cannot be objectified, and that clear understanding is a realization. So it says naivam brahmatma bodhasya sopadi vishayatvataha evam na. It's not so. What you say is not so. It's the conditioned consciousness. How can it become unconditioned consciousness and so on? It's not so. Brahmatma bodhasya, the knowledge of that I am the Brahman to a Jiva is the nature of Brahman. Sopadi vishayatvataha. It is the conditioning knowledge as long as the body, mind and intellect is there. So who need to realize? This is important. Who has to realize? Brahman doesn't have to realize. And the body, mind, intellect by themselves are inert. They cannot even realize. So who is the realization is the one who has the misunderstanding that I am independently this local conscious entity. So when I say I am, is identifying with the localized equipments as I am. But when I say I am a conscious entity, I am an existent entity. At the same time, I am conscious and existent as this, because I am the body, mind, and intellect is a strong notion, and therefore that notion has to be dropped, because anything this cannot be I am. So I have to reject anything this that I can identify. Therefore I am not this, but I am pure existent consciousness, which is same as Brahman, because it's a limitless. That recognition has to come in the body, in the antakarana only, in the buddhi only, because the buddhi, with the activated buddhi, thinks that I am local consciousness, or consciousness identified with the buddhi has to recognize that I am pure consciousness. Buddhi is only an instrument needed for transactions. So upadhi, buddhi, whether it is there or not, should not affect me. I can use the buddhi, and people don't sometimes use buddhi at all, even though it is there. So those I can utilize the equipment for my need in order to transact properly, in order to communicate properly. Even a jnani has to use his buddhi, and just because he is a jnani, it doesn't mean that he knows. He cannot become a sarvajña. He is only become the knower of that Brahma Vidya, and that knowledge only he will gain. He will not know the chemistry, physics, biology, zoology unless he has studied. So the buddhi is only equipment that has a particular knowledge. He has now self-knowledge, which is same as the the knowledge of the Brahman. So this with the buddhi, inside the buddhi, notions are in the wrong notions are in the buddhi only. So that's why tad vijnanartham sa gurum eva abhigached. You go to a teacher to whom it is instruction, to the buddhi only. So buddhi has to go and study. So he's going to talk more about the jnana vritti. And therefore it is with the buddhi I have to realize that I am not the buddhi, but I am a pure consciousness that is enlivening the buddhi also. I am the light of consciousness. In my presence only the buddhi is activated. But activation and the upadhis, all those things do not affect me. I am pure consciousness, but in my presence the whole drama is taking place. That has to be understood here. Naivam brahmatma bodhasya na evam. So naya means what you say is not right. So brahmatma bodhasya sopadi vishayattvataha. So this is, the knowledge is only for upadhi sahita consciousness. That is from the RM, the reflecting medium, the RC, the Chidabhasa, and the OC. All three are there. With the three conditionings only the teaching is, but from the Sakshi point is untouched by this. At the same time, it is Chidabhasa and the Buddhi has to recognize that the consciousness that is being illumined is from the original consciousness. So just as a moon has become a luminous entity in the sky, so moon thinks that I am a self-luminous entity because I am shining. I am illuminating all the bodies in the earth when it is dark. I am the one who is illuminating on the full moon night. So moon thinks that I am a self-luminous entity. But we have to teach the moon, the luminosity that is exhibited by you is not by your own nature. It's coming from the sun. So what you are doing is only reflecting the sunlight only. You are only a reflecting medium, but using the moon itself has to recognize, using that knowledge, that I am, the shiningness of me is due to the sunlight that is falling on me, and not my intrinsic nature. That is from the point of the moon as a reflecting medium. Suppose when I say that I am a conscious entity, I am claiming a consciousness now, not say I am just a buddhi, because buddhi is also I know what I know and I know what I don't know also. So I know my limitations of my buddhi also, and I know what all things I know also, and all that vididam va avididam va. Whatever things I know, whatever things I don't know, but I am different from what are things I know, what are things I don't know. So I am beyond the known and the unknown. And that's my knowing principle itself. I am the pure consciousness. That recognition has to come with the buddhi only. But because of the presence of consciousness, Sakshi is there, and because of the instrument is there, buddhi, and the reflection is also occurring. The whole package is there. OC, RM and RC. OC is pure consciousness, that's Sakshi. That which falls on the local equipment, we call it a Sakshi. And the medium of reflection, that is subtle body, which is Antakaranam, that is Buddhi, and reflection of the consciousness, because of which the equipment has become a conscious entity, that's called Chidabhasa. So realization is by that mind, and as long as the equipment upadhi is there, it's called upahita chaitanyam, upadhi sahita chaitanyam. So realization is by the upahita chaitanyam only. That means consciousness that is enlivened in the upadhi only has to realize that the consciousness that I am is Brahman, is my nature as a Brahman. That has to be understood. So while living in the upadhi, I can recognize that the consciousness that I am is the all-pervading consciousness, even though body, mind and intellect are still limited. But therefore I have like a visa, I can in the Jnana Swarupam, where I am identifying myself with the total consciousness, just as the space in the pot recognizes that I am the total space, while still being in the pot only. So having in the pot, you can say I am a pot space and also I am a total space. Both knowledge are available. While transacting within the Vyavahari, between the two pots and so on, he can claim that I am a pot space. At the same time, understand that I am the total. Or ring can realize that I am the gold that is pervading the bangle and the necklace while still being in the ring. So I can transact as a ring, at the same time have an understanding I am not the ring but I am the gold. So as long as the ring is there, it will upadhi is there, that means equipment is there, it will transact as the ring only, even though it has a knowledge that I am gold. Intrinsically I am gold, because from gold I came, by gold I am sustained, into gold I go back. From the whole Brahman I came, and by Brahman I am sustained, and into Brahman. Yatova imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayamta visham vishanti. Tat vijnasasva, tat brahmeti, tat aham brahmasmi has to be understood while within the body, living in the body, that is called Jivan Muktaha. So, well, as long as the body is there, so why should the body is there? Because it's due to the prarabdha. That we will discuss later, because the prarabdha is the one that's because of which you are born with a particular body in a particular environment and with a particular equipments. That's due to the vasanas that are you brought in, and that prarabdha is like an arrow that has been shot, that until the arrow goes and lands it somewhere, you have to go through that. Therefore, understanding should be, as long as it in the body is there and the body, mind, intellect are operating, as long as it is life is there, the Jivan Mukta will go through, even though he has realized that Aham Brahmasmi. That's why we say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha. Because the whole Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati, knower of Brahman has become Brahman because he understood that I am Brahman. So that clear understanding has to be, with that understanding he is still operating with the local equipments, because local equipments are there. Local equipments are there not only because of his prarabdha, but also because of the prarabdha, because of the purushartha of other jivas who are longing for the knowledge. Because only if a Jivan Mukta immediately goes away and disappears, then who is going to teach? Only Ajnanis will be left over. Because as soon as the Jnanam comes, he leaves. In that case, only Ajnanis are remaining, and how can we learn from another Ajnani? It's like a blind leading the blind. So therefore, the Lord makes sure that the Jivan Mukta lives through, and because of the demanding of the disciples who want to know the knowledge, and he says, the scripture says, you approach a teacher who is Brahmanishtaha and Sotriyaha, and that can only be possible if Jivan Mukta is alive. So here it says, Yavat Videha Kaivalyam Upadhi Anivaranat. So as long as the body drops out, then what happens to the body? A Jivan Mukta body, when it drops out, there are equipments, that is matter goes to matter, that means the food Annamaya Kosha becomes part of the total Virat Swarupam, and the mind, Antakarana mind, becomes the Hiranyagarbha, joins Hiranyagarbha, the intellect becomes the Antaryami or Ishvara. And the essence is nothing but Brahman only. Brahman being and living in that. What happens when the pot breaks? What happens to the pot space? Pot space is only total space only. A pot, you are calling it a pot space, and it merges, as though we can say it merges into the total space. Merging is also, it's all the time it is there. So it's the the Jivan Mukta has merged into Brahman. So there is no really merging, because Brahman is infinite. He recognizes his own nature. The same example is given in the Maitreyi Brahmana. It says, what happens to Videha Mukti? It says, just like a salt doll is immersed into the ocean, then what happens to the salt doll? Salt doll and it becomes one with the ocean. Where exactly is the salt? It is all over the place because it's a part of the ocean itself. In the same way, the Jivan Mukta, when he leaves the body, it becomes one as the total Brahman itself. So Yavat Videha Kaivalyam, until the body drops out, Upade Anivaranat, says Upadhi, these instruments, that is body, mind, intellect, both the gross body, Antakarana, the subtle body, and Karana Siddha, everything is remaining. It merges back into the totality. So each component goes back into its own total. So it becomes the matter goes into the Virat Swarupam, the subtle body becomes a Hiranyagarbha, and the Karna Sarira goes into the Ishvara. This is exactly what the Mandukya Upanishad talks about in terms of the micro versus the macrocosm. So now we address the limitations or limited, the conditionings, whether they are there or not, has no effect in terms of the realization itself or for a realized soul. So here that question again being raised, this is how can the absence of the Antakarana is possible also. Let's read the sloka, that will become clear. Antakarana sahitya rahityabhya viseshyate rahityabhya visishyate upadi jiva bhavasya brahmatayascha nanyata. So Jiva Bhavasya Upadihi Antakarana Sahitya. So Jiva Bhavasya Upadi, the notion that I am a conditioned in the equipment, Antakarana Sahitya, along with the Antakaranam, along with the subtle body. So due to the presence of the Antakarana, which is due to the past karma, Brahmataya, the Brahmanhood or the Brahmanhood, or the nature of understanding that Aham Brahmasmi, Antakarana Rahitya, absence of Antakarana Rahitya Abhyam, this is Visishyate, exists not Nanyatha. So whether the body, once you have realized that Aham Brahmasmi, whether the Antakaranam is there, Antakaranam is not there, it is immaterial. That's what it says. But Antakaranam will be there as long as the Prarabdha is there. And it will drop out and there will not be any Antakaranam anymore when he goes to the becomes of totality. So from the point of this one, the conditionings will not affect him because he realized that conditionings belong to the world, which is essentially mithya. It's not real. So conditions will not bother. It is because an ontological status of Brahman is different from the equipments. Equipments will not bother the Antakara, the Brahman that pervades everything. Ishvara is not affected by the properties of the individual equipments inside. So therefore, even though all components belong to the totality in principle, and therefore everything is within Brahman, including avidya is also within Brahman, vidya is also within Brahman, all the jivas are also within Brahman. So it is somewhat similar to what Bhagavan Ramanuja also says in terms of his model of the totality, that he thinks that is the highest, the final totality. But for us, even the equipment itself can be brought out from the point of pure Brahman. It is Satchidanandam and Satyam Jnanam Anantam, and therefore there is no Sajati Bijati Swagata Vedas in the absoluteness, and therefore Jiva himself is one with it, and that's what is the final is different compared to the Visishtadvaita, where Visishtadvaita is you are part of the totality as you are in the in the waking dream or deep sleep state, and you remain because your nature itself is anupramanat. You're only a tiny guy of the speck of smaller than this 1,000th of the head of a hair. So that is the size of an Atma according to the Visishta, because they call it Sukshmam, Anupramanat. Sukshmam, that means Sukshma they interpret as very small, whereas the Advaita Sukshmam they call it subtle. Subtle means it pervades everything, and it's not not be measurable by the objective tools. That's what is called Sukshma. So Antahkarana Sahityam or Rahityam. So Sahitya Rahitya Visishyate. So it can be with or without the Upadhi. Upadhi Jiva Bhavasya Brahmatayascha Nanyata. So Upadhi is only for the Jiva Bhavam only, for the notion that I am a Jiva is only for that. Otherwise Brahmatayascha Aham Brahmasmi is the clear understanding. So these are within the notion that I am Brahma, Aham Jivosmi, I am a local guy. How do I get that? By identifying myself with what I am not. I am claiming I am a local Jiva. By identifying with my own true nature, I had to claim that I claim myself that I am Aham Brahmasmi, or the Brahmatvam is what I gain. Now which one is the true real? The one which is Satyam is that Satyam, the nature of it is Satyam, that which cannot undergo any change. So Aham Brahmasmi becomes absolute, which cannot be changed again, because that knowledge is final, because there is nothing beyond. Matta parataram anya kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is nothing beyond me. I pervade this entire universe. Maya tadamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina. Mastani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avastitaha. All beings are in me, but their states do not affect me. So this is what one has to be careful here. Even though Lord thinks his whole body is Lord, but if you say if the cells are affected, then the body should get affected. So in the model of Bhagavan Ramanuja, where he talks about Sarira, and these are the one that is supporter of the Sarira, says, how come the parts are getting affected? Because the parts having Ajnanam, and he is having a Malam and all that impurities and all that. How come if they are part of the totality of Ishvara, then Ishvara should get affected. If my hand is affected, then I am affected. Even though I may claim that it is only my hand and I am not the hand, but when the hand is affected, I feel I am affected. So Lord should be affected if he is Lord pervading everything. But his statement is Mayatadam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nacha aham teshu avastitaha. I am not affected by their properties. So now how does Ramanuja says that how is the total body unaffected? Then by axiomatic statement he says because Krishna says so, therefore he is unaffected. So how does Advaita says? Advaita says it is because of the ontological difference. The reality of Brahman is different from the reality of the body. So what basis Advaita can say like that? It is because the scripture says, how is this creation occurred? It is Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam. Because of the Uddalaka gives 3 examples where he shows that the gold becoming ornaments, where the ornaments, order of reality of the ornaments is different from the gold. Gold is adhishthanam, but at the same time, gold is unaffected by the ID, OD, or the attributes of the ring versus attributes of the bangle, attributes of the necklace. So therefore, nachaham tesha avastitaha. I am unaffected by them. That's why Krishna immediately says, Natamastani bhutani. There are no beings in me. Even though just now he said, all beings are in me. And the next statement is, no beings are in me. That means I am pure, unadulterated, the existent consciousness, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, and that is my nature. Therefore, there are no parts are anymore now. There are no more jivas as my body and all that. I am pure Satchidananda Swarupam. That ontological status is only because of difference is that order of reality. So Brahman, everything is in Brahman, including Ajnanam, including ignorance is also in Brahman. What's the locus of ignorance? Brahman. So how can Brahman be ignorant? Brahman is not ignorant. At the same time, ignorance is Brahman. Sir, you are contradicting yourself. I am not contradicting myself because we are talking about different order of reality. When say, where is gold? Gold is in the ring. Say, you ask, are you in the ring? Say, no, I am not in the ring. I am total. I am here in the ring, in the bangle, in the necklace. My nature is independent of the conditioning of the ring and the bangle and the necklace. Even though I am in the ring and the bangle. So, I am there at the same time, I am not really there. You call it me in that form as a ring, you call me in the form of a bangle, and you call, that's your notions of the naming and the form. But Mayam is Mahat Jagadguru. I am pervading the entire universe in an unmanifested form. That has to be understood in this. Therefore, this whether the upadhi is there and whether the upadhi is not there is immaterial. Only upadhi helps for execution, for operation. You need even the Lord. He has to take a upadhi in order to transact with the world. That's called avataram. Avataram is nothing but he has to come down to solve a problem. So what kind of body he has to take? Because he doesn't have any vasanas for him to take any prarabdha karma or sanchita karma for him to be born in a particular way. He has no karmas. So therefore, because karma doesn't affect him, because he performs the action, because I am untouched by the karmas only because the notion that I am a doer is not there. Therefore, even though action is being done, I am unaffected by the action. That's the nature of Brahman. So when Lord comes in the avatara, he has to take a body to solve a problem. So whatever like a jack of all trades, if he has to come as a auto mechanic, you have to come with the dress of that. If he has to come with some other mechanic, he has to come with that dress. So whatever the dress that is suitable for the action that needs to be taken, he takes that vesham. So therefore, the body that he occupies is, if he is Narsimha Avatara, is half lion and half man, because that is required in order to solve that problem there. In another place, you may take the form of a fish or a tortoise or any other form that is required to solve a situation that is by the demand of the bhaktas. So therefore, the upadhi he has to take to solve a problem. But here, whether the upadhi is there or not, for a Jivan Mukta, he is going up and recognize that I am Brahmasmi. Therefore, the upadhi may be there, and whether it is there or not is immaterial. If it is there, he uses the upadhi for transaction purposes. If it is not there, he has become one with the Brahman, and that has to be understood. We'll go now 86. Yada vidirupadihi syat, yada vidirupadihi syat, pratishedastathanakam suvarnaloha bedena Shrunkalatvam nabhijyate, Shrunkalatvam nabhijyate. Together, yatha vidirupadihi syad, pratishedastatanakim, suvarnaloha bedena, Shrunkalatvam nabhijyate. So how can the absence of conditioning be a conditioning itself? So one can have a presence or absence of the body, because when I go to from a waking state to a dream state into a deep sleep state, I am removing one conditioning and entering into another conditioning. And if I go to a deep sleep state, I am even rejecting the whole body, and not only whole body, even the mind is folded. I am what? I am just I am. but I don't know that I am. I am still in the mind which is folded, and everything, the pranamaya, the annamaya kosha folded into the pranamaya folded with the annamaya kosha is folded into manomaya, and manomaya with the pranamaya and annamaya is folded into vijnanamaya, and vijnanamaya with manomaya, pranamaya and annamaya now folds itself, and that is what is called the Ananda Kosham, or also Karana Sariram. Where, what is there? What is there in the deep sleep state? What is there in your deep sleep state? I don't know. So I don't know is there. That means I don't know what. What is that you don't know? Chemistry, physics, knowledge? I don't know anything. So that means, do you know about yourself? Do you know that you didn't know? That also I didn't know. So I have no knowledge of either the knowing or the known, both the subject and the object. The duality itself is not there, so I am not conscious of the subject-object duality. And therefore, it's not a particular ignorance, it is the total ignorance, because every knowledge involves subject-object in our transactional world. So therefore, no transactional knowledge can be possible in the deep sleep state, because it's akhanda, akara vritti, ajnana vritti, constant I don't know, where the upadhis, whether there is no more conscious, whether they are not there or not, is I am not even conscious. So here it says, yada vidurupadhis yad pradhishedas tatha nakim. So you say, if what happens, so just as the presence of the conditioning is considered tatha pradhishedaha, the absence also it should be considered. Why it is not? Due to the difference is only whether suvarna lohadi bedena shrunkalatvam na vidyate. He gives an example, whether you think it's an iron chain or a ring chain or some imaginary chain, you are chained. So that will be there. There's a beautiful story that Swami Simananda gives. He says in those olden days there are pagadis in the Himalayas, and they have full faith in the Mahatmas. So the pagadis used to do trade, from selling things from a different place and then buying there and selling here. That's what how they used to live. So they were carrying something to sell in a different place, and suddenly when they were going through a pass, it started snowing. So he forgot, he didn't want to take the mules, because mules were carrying all the luggage, and he didn't want them to get lost in the snow. And he looked around what I should do. Then he saw a kutir where Mahatma, some sage, is sitting there, or in the ashram there. So he went there, prostrated, and told his problem, that he has to keep the mules. So he said, okay, beta, tie them and go and take bath and have something to eat, and then in the morning you get up and then you can go, because it's snowing in the night, so you should not travel now. So he said okay, and then he wanted to tie it, but when he wanted to tie it, he realized that he forgot the ropes and the pegs that for tying the mules. So he thought, okay, lie down. They were not lying down, and because he was not tying, so but he forgot the ties. So he ran back to Mahatma. Say, what should I do? Say, what do you do normally? I tie them and I put the rope and put a peg, and then I put the peg on the ground and lock it, and then tie it, and then they will sleep. Says, why don't you do one thing? So I didn't bring all those things. So why don't you pretend as though you are tying them, you pretend as though the rope is tying around their neck, and you pretend as though you are putting the pegs on the ground, and you pretend as though you are tying the rope on the other end of the pegs, and then ask them to lie down. I pretend? How can they pretend? But Mahatmas may be great. So he went acted as though he is tying them, and took the rope as a pull it, and then made a tuck noise and put the plug down and tie it, and then ask them to come on, lie down. They lied down, thinking that, why didn't you do this before? We need a tying, otherwise how could we sleep? That's what, as though he looked at them as though he's a stupid. So anyway, in the morning he was happy, got up and took his bath and then put namaskaram to Mahatma, and so he asked for leave and then went back and said, get up, get up. Said, they won't get up. So, my God, what happened? Again he ran back to the Swami. Says, did you untie them? What do you mean untie them? There's no tie there. Beta, you pretend as though you have tied. Now pretend as though you are tying and as though you go through the process. Then they will get up. So my God, I had to pretend all that. So he pretended as though he's pulling the plugs. He pretended as though he's untying them and all that. Then they started moving. So both the upadhi or not upadhi, presence or absence is not in the mind only, because we are like the mules. Therefore, here he is using the swarna and loha. So the suvarna and loha. Either it's a gold chain or the iron chain, it is a chain. So as long as we think we are bound, that notion of bondage is enough, irrespective of how much, what kind of golden chain or a lotus chain we are bound. So shunkalatvam na bijjate. So bondage doesn't differ as long as we are bound, whether it's the silver chain or gold chain or the iron chain, as long as we are chained. So whether the presence or absence of upadhi by themselves are not problem. It is my notion that I am the upadhi. That is the problem. That notion comes because I don't know myself. Ignorance is the problem. With this we stop and we'll continue in the next talk. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.